Kel-Tec Lover, and in this video section I wanted to share a little something with you. I had for quite a while been looking for a cheaper alternative to some of the gun finishes that are out there. Now there are sky's the limits when it comes to gun coatings and gun finishes. You have everything from Alumahide to KG Gun Coat, Duracoat, Cerakote, Norol's Moly resin. There are just, there's so many to choose from. But if you're looking for something in basic black, look no further than your local Walmart. Pick up your can of this stuff right here. This is Rust-Oleum epoxy appliance, or appliance epoxy. And I know what you're thinking. I am not spraying spray paint on my firearm. Well, let me tell you, I've been using this stuff for quite a while, and once it is cured, acetone won't even touch it. Brake cleaner won't touch it. Gun oils don't affect it. And depending on how you apply it and how it's cured, you can get everything from a gloss finish to a satin to almost a matte finish. For example, here's a flashlight that I did, and I want you to look closely, see if that'll pick up. This part here is the original anodizing. This is the original anodizing. The only part that has been sprayed with this epoxy paint was the barrel, and you can see it is a very close match. Also, this AK-47 was also done with this stuff right here, and I couldn't ask for it to look any better. I just recently done this one. Now this was originally had been Duracoated, and the Duracoat was starting to rub off on the blade, so I went ahead and applied it to this. Again, now this pommel I did not respray. This is Duracoat. The rest of it is appliance epoxy. And what I done was used gave it a good nice finish, and then applied it at almost like a fog after it had been cured. Gave it a real light fog spray on it, and then cured it in the oven at about 350 degrees, and that's what we ended up with. Now, I mentioned the chemical resistance of this stuff. When compared to Duracoat, now I'm not trying to compare this stuff to Cerakote. Cerakote's a little different material. I'm not real familiar on Norol's Moly resin, so I can't really speak of that, but I can speak exclusively on Duracoat. Duracoat is a fantastic product. If you remember my AK-47 or my Sega 12 that I did, I'd done that entire gun in Duracoat. The thing with Duracoat is it will react with certain chemicals. For example, if you take brake cleaner and put it on a rag and you rub it on Duracoat, you can actually remove some of the Duracoat with a rag soaked in brake cleaner. It will eventually rub it off if you keep rubbing on it. Not the case with this appliance epoxy. Now, Rust-Oleum's not the only company that makes epoxy finishes in a spray can. VHT, for example, makes one for chassis. You can pick that stuff up in auto parts store. You can get that stuff in a satin black. And the nice thing about these spray epoxies are they don't require a primer. You just apply them directly over, just like Duracoat. You just apply the stuff right over the surface. I know that the appliance epoxy only comes in a gloss black, but if you go to VHT chassis black, you can get that in a satin. And I also found online, now the shipping costs quite a bit more, but for like $8 you can get a can of propeller epoxy, and you can get that stuff in matte black. And it's the same stuff. They actually use the epoxy on airplane propellers because of its durability and impact resistance. So that is an option that you can look if you're looking for basic black. Now, unfortunately, you don't have the myriad of colors with just regular spray-on epoxies that you do with like Duracoat and Cerakote. But if you're looking for something, the most popular color out there, in my opinion, is going to be black. Most everything that you're going to do as far as a cheaper stuff is going to be black. Now, I don't want to get into the argument as far as or a debate of all the different options as far as different colors and stuff, but if you're looking for a basic black, these spray-on epoxies are fantastic. Now, I mentioned that you can get different finishes. Now, I've been experimenting with this particular product for quite some time, and I found out that if you apply it and then bake it in the oven, you come out with a real nice satin finish. If you spray it on and let it air dry, you can get a real nice gloss finish. And this stuff's excellent on aluminum, by the way. You can get a real nice gloss finish on it, and then if you want more of a matte finish, you can you go ahead and you spray the item and get you a good coat on it, cure it like you normally do, and then while the item is still hot, you can take and hold the item out and just give it a real light dusting on that item, and you can actually get more of a matte finish out of it. And you can get all those different finishes out of one color. But anyway, I wanted to bring this to you, let you know you can pick these cans up at Walmart for less than $4. And compared to Duracoat, I have went through the testing on this stuff, and I know for a fact that this stuff is extremely scratch resistant, it's extremely chemical resistant, and I have not been able to find any chemicals that other than like paint stripper that'll take it off. I even sprayed the master cylinder on my brake master cylinder on my four-wheeler with this stuff, and brake cleaner don't even take it off once it's cured. So if you want a cheap alternative and basic black for your firearm finish, look no further than that stuff right there. That's just regular Rust-Oleum epoxy, appliance epoxy. Trust me, man, I've been using this stuff for quite a while, and I'm amazed at how amazed at how well this stuff works every time I use it. And in fact, I've actually refinished a few guns professionally with using it on aluminum parts. The stuff is phenomenal. You can use it on steel, but I wouldn't use it in place of bluing because it's not going to look like bluing. But you can get a really nice finish on it. Heck, if you've got an old shotgun that's all pitted and rusted and everything, you can clean that thing up and spray this stuff on there, and it'll hold up as good as Duracoat or better. I'd watched a few YouTube videos of people that use this stuff. Actually, what intrigued me was a guy did a AK with it, and my thought was probably what you're thinking now. Spray paint, really? That stuff can't hold up very much at all. But the guy swore by it, so I went ahead and picked up a few cans of it and started playing with it with different things, applying it on knives, flashlights. I've done this one here right here. As a matter of fact, this one here's had the safety moved several times, and I'm going to see if I can focus in, and I'm going to see if I can focus in on that so that you can look at it. Now that safety's been actuated, and anybody that knows anything about AKs knows that the area where the safety is where you get most of your wear on a finish. And you can just see that there's a light scratch, and that's about all. And that safety has been actuated a lot since I refinished this thing. So that gives you an idea of how durable the finish is. I'll tell you a little secret. I had done a pellet gun with this stuff, and this was actually, the pellet gun was an old Crossman 760 Pump Master. And it was a friend of mine had brought it to me, wanted to know if I could rebuild it, and I did. I went ahead and I took the thing completely apart because the sides on that thing, those original ones, were made out of aluminum. So I sandblasted it just like I would any other part and everything, and then applied this stuff, and then baked it in the oven at about 350 degrees. The finish turned out fantastic, and so in the process of putting the gun back together, I've got my screwdriver down on it, and my screwdriver slips and skates across the finish, and my first thought was, crap, I got to refinish this gun. It never even left a scratch. I was amazed, and that's what really sold me on the product after that. And then since then I've been using it on several projects. So pick you up a can of this stuff if you want a simple basic black stuff for your flashlights, knives, even some of your firearms and stuff. It's cheap. Once you start using it, you're going to fall in love with it. I can't speak enough of it. So go get yourself some Rust-Oleum appliance epoxy. My only regret is I wish that Rust-Oleum offered this stuff in Desert Tan. Anyway, check it out. Thank you for watching.